Hi everyone, it's Katie here. Welcome back to another practice. Today we're doing a hip-focused routine that will help you to feel good, because who doesn't need to feel a little bit better in this day and age? And of course, I think yoga is one of the best tools that we have that can help us to feel good in times when we need it. So if you're ready to begin, we're going to start just in a seat on the mat. You can make yourself as comfortable as you can. When you're ready, then you might close your eyes. Lengthen up through your spine. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Loosen up your jaw. And start to relax all of those tiny muscles within your face. Start to bring some awareness to your breath. And just notice your breath as it travels into your body. And then follow it as it leaves your body. With time, you might start to make your breath a little bit deeper. Bring it all the way down into your belly. Let it rise up into your chest and throat. And each time you exhale, empty your belly, empty your chest and throat. And we'll just spend another moment here, just in the stillness and silence. And just stay with your breath as best you can. We'll take one more full breath in together. And as you exhale, you can gently start to open up the eyes again. We'll bring the right hand onto the mat beside us and then do a big rainbow across with your left arm. You might look up at that left thumb and just try your best to stretch those fingers away from you, keeping your chest shining up towards the sky. Big breath in here. And then as you exhale, that left hand can come down to the left. We'll take it to the other side. Big rainbow looking up at your right thumb. Keep shining that chest up. On an exhale, you can come back to center. And from here, we'll make our way into extended child's pose. So you can keep your big toes together. Have your knees nice and wide apart. You can always put a cushion in underneath here if you need. Then hands will reach towards the front of the mat and your forehead might come onto the mat as well. If not, you can just take your forehead onto your hands. Of course, by bringing your hands in underneath your forehead, not the other way around. And we'll just try to settle ourselves again. Come back to focusing on your breath. Find your breath wherever it is in your body. And just let gravity and your breath open up your hips here. Trying to just observe the sensations. Keep sending your breath down into them. You can stay as you are, or if you want to take another side stretch here, you can walk your hands over towards the left side of the mat. Let your head and shoulders travel over as well. Release the forehead back down and take a nice long breath in to open up the right side of your body. And exhale, can bring your hands all the way over to the right. And same thing, big breath in for the left side. And start to bring your hands back to center. Press your fingers into your mat and use a breath in to pull yourself up, coming into tabletop pose here. So your fingers are spread nice and wide apart, your shoulders are directly above your wrists, and your hips are directly above your knees. Once you're there, push yourself away from your mat so the body gets a little bit stronger, and we'll do some cat and cow. So as you inhale, point the tailbone up, drop the belly, bring the chest forward and look up. As you exhale, point your tailbone down, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest and drop your head. Inhale to take you back up to cow pose, tailbone pointing up, eyes looking up. Exhale, round everything down, look down and come into cat. And you can keep going here, moving at your own pace. Of course, finding here what helps you to feel good. Sometimes just pausing and holding the pose can feel good. Or sometimes it can feel better just to keep moving with your breath. So just explore here. Whenever you're ready, you can come back to a neutral spine. Bring your hips over to the left and look back over your left shoulder. And then bring the hips to the right, look back over the right shoulder. And continue with those movements, just loosening up the hips. Sometimes here it might feel good just to make circles with the hips or to shake things a little bit. Do whatever you need to do. Now we'll come back to our neutral spine. If your wrists need a break here, feel free just to take the weight off for a moment. Then when you're ready, we're coming back into our tabletop pose. This time we're going to bring that right leg out to the right beside us. So press into the outer edge of your right foot and then repeat your cats and cows. So this time as you inhale and you point your tailbone up, you start to feel a lot more resistance within this right hip. But of course we're helping to open it up and to get rid of any stress or tension. And then each exhale still takes you down to cow pose. You can keep going with this movement. Also here it can feel nice to start to drag your hips back towards your heel. Of course, listening to the body and only going as deep as feels good. Whenever you're ready, we'll switch. So now the left leg comes out beside us, press into the knife edge of that left foot. Start to inhale to find your cow pose. Exhale for cat. And again, if you want to start to sit back towards that back heel, open up that left hip even more. And we'll make our way back to center, back into our tabletop pose. From here, hands can come a little bit closer towards the top of the mat. Curl your toes, lift your knees, and start to drag your hips up and back to find downward facing dog. So first downward dog of this practice, you might just paddle your feet, release that tension from the backs of your legs. Or you can sway your hips from side to side. With time, you might come into a still downward dog. So you can keep your knees bent, point your tailbone to the sky, drop your head towards your mat. Your ears might come in line with your biceps, and push yourself away from your hands so you really start to stretch through your full body. We're going to hold here just for about 3 breaths. So make them as deep as you possibly can. Start to drop your left heel towards your mat here and float your right foot up towards the sky, coming into a 3-legged dog. Keep pushing away from those hands. Keep reaching that right heel towards the sky, finding all those deep stretches that feel really good. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, we'll start to bring this right foot forward, planting it in between the hands. We'll drop the back knee onto the mat and find ourselves in a low lunge. So whatever works for you here, take a second just to set it up. And then when you're ready, we'll pause, taking some deep breaths. Now you can stay here in this low lunge, or it can also feel good to press down into this front heel and then lift yourself up. You can rest your hands onto this front leg. Gently start to push that front leg away from you, creating a slight back bend here. Keep breathing into whatever you're feeling. And then with an exhale, you can start to bring your hands back down if they're not already there. We'll heel toe this right foot all the way over to the left side of the mat. Drop that front knee and set yourself up for Pigeon Pose. So it doesn't matter how far back this foot needs to come. I need to get it way back so it feels comfortable here in Pigeon. Keep your front foot flexed. That will help to protect this front knee, and keep that back foot pressed down into your mat. You want to try keep your hips as square as possible here, so don't collapse into this right side. You can help yourself to do that by imagining there's magnets in your feet and they're trying to pull towards each other, which lifts your hips up. So we'll stay here just like this, or if you want to go deeper, you can come down onto your forearms. If you're ready to come out of Pigeon Pose, you can slowly start to reverse, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. So however you get there is fine. Take your time and then spend a few seconds here just doing whatever you need to do. releasing your right side of the body. This time your right heel will drop towards the mat as your left foot starts to float up towards the sky, pushing away from your hands, getting a nice deep stretch. Keep breathing into whatever you're feeling. On an exhale, your left foot will come forward, dropping in between the hands. Drop your knee and set yourself up for your low lunge. Again, you might just stay as you are or press into this front heel. Lift the hands up. Start to gently press that leg away from you. You might take a slight back bend here, maybe looking diagonally up. Next exhale, now you can bring those hands back down either side of the foot. We'll walk this left foot all the way over to the right side of the mat. Again, you're setting yourself up for pigeon, so both feet are active, front foot is flexed, and your feet are pulling towards each other to keep your hips square. Staying here or coming down onto your forearms. And as we hold these poses, it's really normal for your mind to drift away. So if you find yourself engaged in some thoughts, just try your best to come back to whatever sensations you're feeling within your body. Or you can follow your breath just as we were doing at the beginning of the practice. Now when you're ready to come out of pigeon, we'll reverse again, making our way back into downward facing dog. Releasing the poses, doing whatever you need to do. I'm trying to stay still here to avoid the squeaky floorboard, but you can do whatever works for you. Then we'll drop both of our knees back down to the mat. And from here, you can come to sit with your legs out long in front of you. And we'll make our way into a half-spinal twist. So you're bringing your right foot to the outside of your left knee. Left leg can stay long. If those hips are already feeling flexible, you could bend this left knee as well. So your left foot comes to the outside of your right hip. Either way is fine, no matter where you are. Take a second just to wiggle around and make sure you feel both of your seat bones pressed into your mat. Now your right hand will come in behind your tailbone and your right arm will prop up your spine. Your left hand will reach for the sky. Take a big breath in to lengthen. And as you exhale, start to rotate towards the right, hooking your elbow to that top knee, and then slowly twisting, maybe looking back over your back shoulder. Each inhale here helps you to lengthen. Each exhale helps you to twist a little bit deeper. And this pose is really good for your hips and shoulders, and it also targets all those internal organs. So if you ate before this practice, I do apologize. We'll start to come back to center now. You can undo everything, legs back out in front. We'll shake them out. And then we'll go to the other side. So now your left foot comes to the outside of your right knee, right leg staying long, maybe bending. Wherever you are, your sit bones or seat bones, I'm never quite sure which to say. So we'll say seat bones, press into your mat. Your left hand in behind your tailbone, propping up your spine, and your right arm reaching up. Take a breath in to lengthen. Exhale to twist left, hooking elbow to knee, slowly looking back behind you. Again on this side, inhale to lengthen, exhale to gently twist. Now we'll start to come back, undoing everything, shaking out those legs. And now keeping your hips towards the center of your mat, you can come down to lie on your back. So slowly, slowly come on down. When you're there, just give yourself a moment to lie on your yoga mat. And it's not often throughout our days that we get a chance just to lie on the floor and to do nothing. And it feels really good. So let's take advantage now. Now we'll make our way into Reclined Cobbler's pose. So you're bringing the soles of your feet together, making a big diamond shape with your legs. If you want, you can always put cushions or yoga blocks in underneath your thighs here to support your knees. The further away your feet are from you, the less intense this is going to be. So you can find a distance for your feet that feels sustainable. We're not forcing anything, you're just letting gravity do the work. And as you just simmer here in this pose, you can imagine all the stress or emotion that you might have held on to in your hips is all just rising up now and leaving your body. Again, if your mind gets distracted, that's okay. Focus on your deep breaths again. You're welcome to stay in this pose even longer, but if you do want to come out now, you can use your hands to slowly lift those knees back up towards each other. We'll take the feet to about hip distance apart. Exhale to drop the knees to one side. Inhale to pick them up, exhale to drop them to the other side. And do a few more like this, some windshield wipers to get rid of any last bits of tension from your hips. And sometimes it can feel good just to pause on one side, let your knees drop towards the side. Right now I'm craving happy baby pose. So if you are too, you can bring your knees up towards your chest, make them a bit wider than your torso, and bring your arms in between your legs. Now your hands can come to hold your shins or your ankles, or maybe they can come to hold the inside or the outside of your feet. Then bring your feet parallel to the ceiling. Your feet will try to touch the sky here, and your hands will gently try to pull them back down towards the floor. You can stay still here, or you can rock from side to side. You can play a little by straightening up one leg at a time. I read in a yin yoga book that this pose is the reason why cameras or recording equipment is not allowed in yoga studios. So I always feel so funny then when I record myself doing it, but I know you guys are nice guys. Now, if you're ready to release your happy baby pose, you might start to bring those feet back down. If you want, you can do a few rotations of your ankles here while the feet are above the mat. Something that I think feels really good. Now you can come back into Savasana Pose. You can finish this practice lying on your mat, just relaxing. If you want to do a guided relaxation, I do have a 10-minute video that I'll leave here that can help you to do that. You can go click into that now. But if not, you might make your way up into a seat. We'll end our practice as we started, finding whatever way feels best to sit for you. Maybe bringing your palms together at your chest, bowing your head towards your heart, and closing your eyes. As you start to connect to a deep breath, you can thank yourself for showing up, for doing this practice, and for finding ways to make yourself feel good. We'll take one more deep breath in together, and if you're ready on your exhale, you can start to open up the eyes again. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you liked this 30-minute feel-good practice for the hips. If you did, you can leave a thumbs up or a comment below, or please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I would really love to practice with you again in the future. I'll add this video to a playlist called Feel Good Yoga, and I'll keep adding to that playlist so you can keep coming back and doing this style of practice. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.